Hey guys, and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program video. The first one in quite a few months, actually, almost 5. So today we are sending our rocket part shuttle to the Duna base. Yeah, that's a mouthful right there. So right now it is on Ike. Unfortunately, I did have to cut out the part where it's being built because a lot of stuff goes on in this video. A lot of docking and landing and all that good stuff. But as you can see, we're getting our app up, and Ike. I just decided to put it at about 10,000 meters. Nice and low. Because, I don't need much. Especially for Ike. But, so we get our maneuver set up, and I can put it pretty much wherever. Because of, I'll just go to the periapse, retrograde burn, and then it'll set up an intersect pretty much on its own. But I think from what it looks like, I do set up a periapse there that'll put me straight into an intercept. I think I'll have to see. But yeah, while I was making this, I've been working a little bit on stock props. I've been making a lot of headway. Hopefully we'll be able to send one to Duna, so we'll see how that goes. And I've also sent there's a little probe circling Ike, and it was the Duna ore scanner. So I went ahead, sent that to Dres, just so we're ready for the next little stage of our colonization here. So we should be able to just send stuff to Dres. That's already scanned. I have an idea of where I'm going to place everything. So I'll probably end up just sending like a builder or something. Sorry about that, my dog was barking. So let's see. We're talking about the Dres missions, but yeah, I'll probably send like I don't know, it's like some kind of builder ship, and then we'll just build up all the parts there, and I'll continue sending Kerbals as we go. But back to the video. You can see that right now I'm about to park up with the Duna station, so I'm just getting this thing all hooked up. The reason I'm doing this is because I want it to be fully fueled, because I actually need all the fuel I can get. When I go down, I made no way of refueling on Duna, which was probably a mistake on my part. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll just hook it up here, refuel it, and then we'll go land. And speaking of landing, it actually took me quite a few attempts. I'm gonna guess it's around 7 to 10 because it's atmospheric landing. Atmospheric landing is really tough because of how you have to try and calculate for how the drag is going to affect your ship. And I also put parachutes on it, so I have to account for, or at least try to account for parachutes as well. So the best I could do was get within, I think, like a kilometer, which I mean isn't terrible, but I still had to waste a lot of fuel trying to get closer because I have to be within about 100 meters. So, and I, can't exactly drive this thing over, although maybe making something that can drive it over would probably be pretty handy. I'll have to see about that there, but yeah, it was a little challenge. But the Poodle engine fortunately proves to be more than enough to get this thing landed. As you'll see here, I only use it to pick the ship back up and move it. Okay, so I would guess I was wrong a little bit, about two kilometers out. But yeah, so we'll get it a little closer here. And I think I landed within 200 meters, which proves to be a little bit of an issue. No, it was about 93 meters. That's fine. So I start getting everything out, and I cut out a lot of this because it accounted for like 30 minutes. So I cut it all out because I want to keep these videos between 10 and 20 minutes. So, because I mean, I don't. 30 minutes, that's a long video. I don't want to sit around for 30 minutes watching a video. But I do some stuff with the little drill bot right there. I can't remember what it is. I fiddle around with it for a while because I have to get it somewhere. I think I'm driving it to around the shuttle. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard for me, but I keep running out of electricity for some reason, which is really annoying. So I have to go put a solar panel on and try and drive it around. And I think that doesn't work all too well, so then I try going around doing stuff, and it's just a mess. But yeah. I guess while this is going, I can talk a little more about the Dres base. Um, I'm planning on hooking up a space station to an asteroid, maybe even 2 or 3. Just depends on how my frames feel. And I'm not sure, but if I'm able to mine metal ore from the asteroids, then I'm definitely going to have a ship port on it, because that would be really awesome. And it might even be better than Minimus and Duna. Definitely better than Duna, because I mean, Minimus is just in a good location. But yeah, if you can, which I'm almost certain you can, then that could be incredibly valuable. And once I do run out of, I guess, metal ore, because it's the minerals are finite in asteroids, I can just, toss it out, which is kind of funny to say with an asteroid, and find myself a new one because of the magical Dresteroids, which just so happen to be in perfectly circular orbits, which is awesome at pretty good inclinations. And I mean, they're not on escape trajectories, so I mean, you just fly over, hook up to one, and bring it back. So it's gonna be really nice. Asteroids. I might even be able to find a magic boulder, which would be pretty cool. We'll have to bring science instruments out to the magic boulder just to look at the flavor text. Which, speaking of science, I kind of want to do a career series. I think that'd be kind of cool to do. So, if I get enough support, that might be in the works. And also, there's this cool mod that one of my friends discovered called Dark RP. Or no, not Dark RP. Dark Multiplayer, sorry. Dark RP is a Gmod thing. But Dark Multiplayer allows you to play Kerbal Space Program online with people. So I might be able to do that. And that would be pretty cool. I think some YouTubers did it back a few years ago. It's like Interlysium and maybe Hawk Gaming. And then there's another guy. I don't remember their names exactly. But, I mean, it's come kind of far away since then. It doesn't seem very buggy. The only issue I've noticed is that when you go to like revert flights and stuff, it tends to leave the crafts out on the runway instead, so you end up accumulating like, I don't know, you can get like 10 different crafts all out there in like different time zones because you're in your own little time zone, and if someone warps, they're in the future, so you can kind of update it into the future, which is pretty cool. So that poses a lot of interesting thoughts right there. But also, very, very cool, and I'm considering it. Same, I mean, it goes pretty much the same for career mode. If I get enough support, I can probably work that out as well. But yeah, and I've also gotten into Arma 3 over the past few months. Arma 3 is really cool. I wouldn't mind making videos on that either. So, I mean, there's a lot I can do. And Space Engineers, too. Space Engineers is a lot of fun. So, if I can get friends on, really it just boils down if I can get friends on. That's the hard part. And hopefully I will be able to. So then I can make a lot of cool videos. But, I guess we can get back to the video at hand here. And as you can see, I went around, kind of set up stuff. And you can see that I am in the process of hooking up the rocket part shuttle to the base. And it took a pretty long time. And finally, I just had to move the whole shuttle, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, it wasn't such a big a deal, because I got to space just fine, obviously, or else I wouldn't have made this video. But I can tell that there's a few flaws with this shuttle. The main being that there's just not a whole lot of fuel. And I set the whole thing up kind of weirdly. I think what I really should do is put a big, I guess, tank in orbit. And here we go, flying up now. Big tank in orbit around Ike. I just constantly go up, refuel it. And then I bring it to the Duna station, hook it up, and then just use it as I go. And that would probably lag up stuff because, I mean, it's a big fuel tank. But it would make, this whole thing a lot easier. But yeah, so that's something. I do really like the look of Duna, though. Duna is beautiful. I love this planet, and I want to spend a little more time on Duna. So hopefully I can get some stock propeller planes going that can actually work on Duna. Because, I mean, flying over the surface, that just sounds pretty cool. But as you can see here, I just barely make it in orbit. Like, it's it's like by a little bit of fuel there, as you can see. I think towards the end I had to maneuver with RCS, which, I mean, didn't turn out to be too bad, but it was a lot closer than I would have liked. Now, there's a good chance I could have fallen back onto our good pal Duna. I shouldn't have said that. Good pal is really cringy. But no, I don't know how I had any Delta V left. I mean, there was nothing left in the tank. I was definitely running on fumes, without a doubt. And then I had that, not so pleasant 137 meters per second of difference, which made rendezvous interesting considering I have like no fuel. But I think once we get to that rendezvous point, you'll see my engine cut out here pretty soon. But I can't remember when it is. But yeah, this fine tuning, thankfully for me, doesn't use a whole lot of fuel. I think this is the point. Yeah, if you look at it right now, this is the point where I start running out of fuel. and I have to maneuver with my RCS, which thankfully I had. But it's slow going. And you can see I'm doing my best to preserve fuel, and I just have none left to give there. So then I have to use my RCS to wiggle my prograde up to the target, because I'm getting close, but I'm just not close enough. And I do that for a while. Like, I do a full orbit before I actually get to it, or just about a full orbit. So I have to dock up on the night side, and anyone who's played Kerbal Space Program for, you know, any amount of time knows how fun that is. Nighttime of anything. And another design flaw of both of these crafts actually is there's not really any lights. So I had to do it using the cockpit lights, which, I mean, it was fine because I think I had my gamma up, which is all good. But it turned out just fine, so I'm happy. But here we go, warping in there, and I'm flinging my craft around. It doesn't actually move that fast, thankfully, because I'd probably break something. But, I mean, docking these things gets a little interesting around, you know, especially when there's two of these shuttles around. But as you can see there, my flag is all around that landing pad. I should have toggled the flag off for that part. Not sure why I didn't. That would have been a much better idea. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!